everybody, I'm Taylor.
I'm Blanca, and today is
Wicked Wine Wednesdays, where we talk about true crime and sample wines.
Today we'll be discussing the Gabby Petito case.
So if you like wine and true crime, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Before we dive in, I just want to remind you guys that we'll be talking about the wines that we tried at the end of the video, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned until then. I also want to remind you guys that we will be posting a video every other Wednesday, so let's dive in. Gabby Petito was born March 19th, 1999, making her 22 years old. She was from New York, and she ended up moving to Florida with her boyfriend Brian Laundrie that she had met in high school in New York. From what I know, Gabby states that she was a nutritionist and she had worked at a juice bar for a little bit, and then when they decided to go on this 4-month cross-country trip, she decided to do a blog about nutrition and basically just her healthy living. And from the police body cam too, it seems that they didn't believe in using plastic either. There was a point where Brian refuses to drink out of a plastic water bottle that the cops offer him. So they were living this hippie lifestyle. They turned her Ford van into a camper, and they decided to cross country, and they were vlogging this whole thing, and they were doing a YouTube channel. They had Instagram. They were just keeping up to date with their travels, and from what it seemed, things were going pretty well. But for some reason, Gabby ends up missing September 11th. At least that's when she is reported missing, when her boyfriend Brian ends up back at his parents' house with her van without her. And this case is still ongoing right now. There's a bunch that I'm sure is going to come out. Right now, Brian is still missing. They don't know where he is. Nobody has spoke to him. Apparently, his parents haven't spoke to him either. How true is that? Don't know. But as far as we know, there hasn't been much off of this case yet.
So sometime between June and July this past summer, Gabby and Brian take off on this adventure to go visit national parks, because why not? Especially right now, honestly. They're not that crowded. You get better views, I feel.
Yeah.
On August 12th of 2021 in Moab, Utah. Is that how you say it, Moab?
Okay, I think so.
In Moab, Utah, there was a domestic disturbance incident. Now, Gabby and Brian were seen at the Moonflower Community Co-op, which I think is just like an overly healthy grocery store, probably where everything's organic.
Like a Whole Foods, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so. But, you know, somewhere that obviously Gabby and Brian felt comfortable going, especially with the lifestyle that they were in and whatnot. Now, the reason it was called was because somebody witnessed them in the parking lot just getting into an altercation. Now, it seemed like they were just screaming at each other, and then Gabby started to kind of go after Brian, taking kind of swings at him, trying to climb over him in the driver's side window and just be dramatic as hell, because why? He tracked dirt in the camper, who knows?
Yeah, well, he also locked her out of the van, which is the main reason why she was trying to get into it. But the reason he locked her out of the van is because of the whole dirt tracking thing and her wanting things to be clean.
Which, again, I feel like they could have just found a better solution. But
yeah.
Now, they don't necessarily get pulled over or stopped or anything like that in the grocery store or anything like that. Now, they are off on the road, down a ways. A police officer is now kind of following them, just kind of seeing what's happening, kind of keeping an eye on them, and notices kind of how the car swerves a little every now and then they hit a curb, and then once they hit the curb, the officer pretty much pulls them over and starts the process. Now, when they come up to the car, Gabby is just this hot mess, just hysterical, hyperventilating, can like barely talk, but is also like apologizing to the officers, trying to say how everything was her fault and that she just has like OCD and anxiety and that they were fighting from something earlier that day that was personal. And at this point, the officers are just kind of like, what the heck is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much make them both get out of the van, make them turn it off, put the keys on the hood, just making sure that neither one of them is going to try and take off because what the heck is happening here? Now, they pull over Gabby to the side away from Brian because now they just want to assess the couples individually, see what's going on, see what kind of stories they can get out of people. And Gabby really doesn't give them too much insight onto even what the heck is going on. All she really says is how she has OCD and anxiety and that she knows she can be mean sometime and that she just like was feeling overwhelmed, especially from the fight earlier. And the officer was just kind of like, okay, like you need to take a breather. So with making it very, very clear that she was in no trouble whatsoever, had her sit in the back of the squad car so she could be in the AC, just kind of find a moment to recollect herself. Now they go over to Brian, and Brian is scratched up all on like his upper body, like his face, his neck, his chest, like just his whole, was it the left side?
I don't know. It depends on how the camera's switched.
Okay. Well, on just one side of his body more than anything.
He had like dry blood, like almost like gashes, like on under his eye. He was not looking too good.
Nope. And pretty much all he tells the officers is how him and Gabby had gotten into an altercation earlier that day, pretty much because he had locked her out of the car because of her OCD-ness and because she had gotten so angry about just something so simple because I guess Brian wasn't the like neatest person and for her it was like a big issue. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm thinking it was just cabin fever after a certain point because you're stuck in like
with somebody like that for so long.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you gotta really love somebody to like really pull that off, like damn.
Yeah.
But regardless, it just was one of those situations where the officers were kind of like, you guys shouldn't even be together right now. Like, you need to be separated and go off on your own ways.
In order for them to be able to go their separate ways, the cops had to put a protection order in place because in the body cam footage, they were talking about how Brian is the victim here because neither one of them said that he hit her. It was all her being the aggressor. And also when they had hit the curb, Brian says that she pulled the steering wheel and she said that she was just punching his arm and that she never grabbed the steering wheel. But one of the officers makes a good point. He was saying that maybe he was trying not to get her into more trouble. And so instead of saying that she was hitting him, he said that she grabbed the wheel in order to like keep things at bay.
Less bad. But,
yeah.
I mean, neither option is really good. She shouldn't be grabbing the steering wheel and she shouldn't be punching him.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I guess it's different in different states, but in Utah, if they get a domestic call, they have to immediately act on it. I believe in California, from what I've seen, like watching cops and stuff, somebody could say, I don't want to press charges, and the cops go. But I guess in Utah, they have to put a protection order out if there's known domestic violence, which there was because he was cut up.
Well, Utah is doing it right.
Yeah, I know. But they had to put a protection order. So this is what kind of disturbs me because they basically tell Brian, regardless if you want to press charges or not, you guys have to be separated, and she's either going to spend a night in jail or she can go to a women's homeless shelter, or she could go into a hotel and you go into a different hotel, but you guys cannot be together. And it's difficult because they live in a van and they don't have the money for a hotel. So Brian asked the cops if he can go to jail because he doesn't want Gabby to go to jail. And they're like, no, you're not being charged with anything. And he's like, well, can she take the van? And they're like, yeah, she can take the van, but you can't go with her. And he's like, that's fine. Like, I'll go sleep in a sleeping bag somewhere. Like, I just don't want her going out somewhere, like, alone. Which shows to me that he obviously cares about her well-being, which is weird. But from what I gathered from the body cam footage, they end up calling the women's homeless shelter to see if they could get Brian in there since he was a victim. And I believe they did.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
yeah, and she was able to take the van. And in order for them to have contact with each other again, Brian would have to go into the police department the next morning and waive the protection order in order for them to be together again, which obviously happened because they were back together, which I don't know if that was a good decision, but I mean, the police have no say in that. If he waives it, he feels safe to be with her. And
I mean, I'm sure secretly deep down they were like, dude, don't do it.
I know, I mean, they did tell him too in the police footage, like, you guys shouldn't be together, you know? Like, maybe this isn't the best relationship to be in, and you guys should go your separate ways, not even just because of the protection order, but because of what was happening. And
But who's to say too, like, that it all wasn't just cabin fever? Like, was she violent with him before?
yeah, I don't
like,
know. I mean,
that's just kind of the thing. Like,
we don't know because he's still missing, so we don't have any
and
answers.
didn't want to talk.
Yeah, we don't have any answers with that. But I don't know. It's a weird thing because a lot of people don't take into consideration that women do abuse men as well, and they take men abusing women more seriously. And just, yes, I know, like, there could be more damage to women because men are bigger and stronger, but women
But women can do just as much damage.
Yeah, but women can hurt men, and it's clear that that was what was happening in this situation. And I guess the protection order was waived because on August 24th, she FaceTimes her mom, basically telling her mom how they're leaving Utah and now making their way up to Yellowstone, but I think it was also, I have no idea how you say it, so if I mess it up, whatever, but I think it's Teton, like Teton Range in Wyoming?
I have no idea.
Range?
Teton something in Wyoming. But this is where she ends up being. This is where she tells her mom, FaceTimes her, tells her this whole plan that they're doing. I think she's even like seen this day too.
Mhm.
So there's like witness reports of that. On August 25th, there were multiple exchanges between Gabby and her mom via text message. Now, on August 27th, she is still texting her mom. We're not really sure if they still believe this to be her, but we already know by August 30th when they received the last text message from Gabby, which says no service in Yosemite, which, first of all, not even the right national park.
Yeah, like, how did you get from Utah to Yosemite within like 3 days?
It's like,
I mean, it's probably possible, but like,
yeah.
like, you just like didn't stop anywhere or anything. Like, you just drove straight through, and like the goal is to go
That's
to
at least like a good, like, what, 20-hour drive?
Yeah, but like their goals are to stop at these national parks.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like, why you would just leave Utah and go straight to Yosemite? I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Even when, like, you weren't even in Yosemite, you were in Wyoming at Yellowstone.
Yeah, I don't.
It probably was just the wise. They were like, hey.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird because on August 27th, like she was saying, her mom said that she thinks that she was still in the Tetons, or however you say it. So that means that they would have had to leave August 27th, the day that she was texting her mom, and by the 30th, they would be in Yosemite and not have service.
Which I'm curious now. Let me see. They were in, at least Moab was like the last known place,
Well,
right?
no, the Tetons.
No.
Yeah.
Like from. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. No, never mind. I see what you
The
mean.
27th, they were in the Tetons. 12
Well, I
hours?
mean, it's a 12-hour drive, so I mean, I guess they could have
Yeah, but
done
they also
it, but...
said they also said that they were planning to stop in Salt Lake City, which Salt Lake City's on the way to Yellowstone. Like, did they just not stop in Salt Lake City?
Yeah. That's just...
I don't know. The timing is weird, and for her to just text no service in Yosemite and like not update anything, which I think there
for
is
her
service
to not
in Yosemite.
randomly be. Well, I mean, if she's obviously texting her on the 27th and there was no mention of like going to Yosemite,
Yeah.
and then just randomly texting and being like, "There's no service in Yosemite." Well, first of all, there was service enough for you to send it and for you to know that there was service.
Yeah.
And I mean, what else?
Yeah, it's just weird, and there's not going to be proof that that text was sent from Gabby or not, unless they do find Laundrie, and for some reason he confesses, and who knows where he is. I'm hoping that they do find him alive, so the family gets closure. But on September 1st, which is only a few days after the last text from Gabby, Laundrie returns back to his parents' house with Gabby's van, but without her. And I don't know what the conversation was with his parents. Like, yeah, I just didn't return back with Gabby. What was the conversation that happened there?
Like, do you think that he like made up some like elaborate story that like they like maybe broke up and he had like dropped her off back at like her parents and came back down? Like,
I don't know. I mean, we won't know, but I guess a TikToker named Miranda Baker said that she had picked up Laundrie while on August 29th, so the day before the last text, that was hitchhiking alone in the Teton National Park. So
not in Yosemite.
Yeah, not in Yosemite. And secondly, he's hitchhiking, but they have a van. I don't know. Like, see, things aren't making sense, right?
Nothing is making sense. And I think from what I fully have understood, I mean, I don't even know. I think from what I heard, he refused to even like talk to like his parents about the situation.
Well, that's what
was refusing to talk to like her parents about the situation. He didn't even want to talk to the cops. And then I think he came back, and it was almost like 10 days before they finally like...
Yeah, like 10 days later on September 11th, her parents, Gabby's parents, reported her missing. Which, I don't know, I guess maybe they thought that she was just over at Laundrie's. I don't know.
Or maybe they thought she was in Yosemite still. I mean, honestly,
no service,
like,
who knows?
Who knows? Because they did say because of how often Gabby liked to travel and randomly just go on trips, that she would often go to places with no cell service. So to not be in contact with her for, several days wasn't uncommon for them. Which, honestly, this needs to stop being an uncommon thing. Like, y'all need to be checking in with people daily.
I know.
Like
things change
especially
so
your
drastically.
children. Like, how are you not checking in on your children daily?
Yeah.
My mom will text me at like 3 o'clock every day and is like, I haven't heard from you today. Is everything okay?
Just to make sure you're okay.
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Yeah, so with the whole him not talking, I guess they said that his parents weren't talking to anybody, and then they had called up Gabby's parents and said that they haven't seen their son either, that he disappeared too.
Which at this point, who knows? Maybe they helped him.
Yeah, I don't know. All speculation, we don't.
Because then I think I even heard that he went into like this like national park.
They were searching in this national park. Yeah,
that's like in Florida, which everybody thought was like super weird. That you go on this cross country trip hiking constantly with your girlfriend, and then you come back alone and your girlfriend's missing. But hey, let me just go on another hike in this national park. Like,
clear his mind, maybe? I don't know.
Trying to clear his guilt? Who knows?
As September 17th rolls around, even though Gabby is missing and Laundrie is missing, they were searching for him, but they were saying that he wasn't wanted for a crime. Not yet, because there was nothing to go off of.
Which,
just missing persons.
Again, I understand like how he was technically the victim, but now she's missing and he's just like...
So September 18th is when they start their search for Brian in the whole Carlton Reserve, which is the national park she was talking about. And then they start searching for Petito in her last known whereabouts, which was the Teton National Park. And they weren't finding anything for a little bit. But the next day, September 19th, they found human remains in the Teton National Park that were consistent with the description of Gabby. And they still haven't confirmed that it's her body,
But I'm
which is
wondering if
frustrating.
that's also like kind of like a ploy to kind of see if like they can try to like lure out Brian some way somehow.
By not confirming her body?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know, but I mean, truly, I think the internet is like a crazy thing. Sometimes it can be a beautiful thing, other times it can be a disaster. But in this case, I think it was even said like the only reason we were even like led to her body or like the like exact whereabouts, they were searching, you know, and luckily some guy that was kind of doing the same thing that Gabby and Brian were doing, just, you know, editing his own vlogging footage that randomly passes by Gabby and Brian's van, just like randomly pulls off to the side, which I want to find out when this footage was, like what day the footage was from, because then we would probably get more of like a accurate description of like when she probably went missing or like murdered or whatever we're going technical terms here. But the van is found, and when you go and you like super zoom on it, and I'm sure you guys can find this because it's everywhere at this point, but it's literally like the van, and then right outside the door of the van is Gabby's sandals, which if you pay attention to the body cam footage is the exact same sandals that she's wearing in the footage.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that is a little suspicious. And then if he was hitchhiking,
August
like,
27th.
did he go? Oh, it was on August, and that was the last day the parents think she was texting them.
Yeah. Oh no, is it the 29th? Was it the 27th?
It was the 27th, yeah. Because on
no,
the 30th, he sent, no. There was a text message sent, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the 27th is when she was talking to her and then didn't hear from her until the 30th. Oh, man.
I mean, regardless of what happened, how it happened, it shouldn't have happened. And I just really wish that, like, Brian would come out already and say something. Like, even if it was an accident, like, I'm not saying that it was, you know, okay for him to just go and like murder her because she was beating on him, but maybe she started beating on him again on a hike over some ridiculous little thing and he just couldn't take it anymore, and next thing you know, she's just not here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I mean, they haven't confirmed that it's her body yet, like I said, but they've already expressed their condolences. The police have, and the FBI, they've already expressed their condolences to Gabby's family, which isn't a good sign.
Which most likely because it is her remains.
Yeah, and obviously if they haven't confirmed her body yet, they haven't released the cause of death yet either, which is something that I'm very curious about because I want to know if it was an accident, like something that he kind of just snapped and, you know, strangled her or hit her over the head with something. I'm very curious on what that is. It's going to be sad when we find out, obviously.
Oh yeah,
because
I'm not ready to find out, honestly. I'm
especially
terrified.
especially if he's still not found yet and there still aren't any answers. It's like knowing the cause of death is just going to make it so much harder without
Because it's just
there
like,
being
what if it comes
answers.
back with like she was stabbed or she was shot?
Yeah, like,
and then it becomes like, now, okay, was this like a premeditated thing because like homegirl was beaten on you? Or like, what the heck is happening here, man?
yeah,
So,
I hope no matter how she died, it's awful, but I really, really hope that it's nothing gruesome.
really gruesome.
I really, really hope that it's nothing horrible, because that would
I don't know.
kill me.
It's gonna be, but then it's like, so then the question begs now is, where is Brian? Because we just searched the whole Carlton Reserve and he wasn't there. So
I mean, maybe he fled the country. For all we know, he could be completely somewhere else. I mean, I really hope that he has the balls enough to come forward with the information that he has and give Gabby's poor family closure, because they deserve it, and own up to what he did. Obviously, speculation again, he might have not done anything.
You know, I mean,
could have not been him.
I've literally have thought about this because I'm just like, well, what if something happened? Because, like, let's face it, crazy shit happens in the woods, okay?
It's true.
But at the same time, the only reason I'm a little like, he had to kind of have done something. Maybe he, like, didn't kill her but thought she was dead, and then because she was just left alone for so long, she ended up dying, type of thing. Like, again, we don't know, because all of this is very fresh. It's developing. I mean, for crying out loud, we just found the body like yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all of this is just overly new, developing, but it just makes you wonder, like, what actually happened, because he came back, like, it doesn't seem like, you know, they went through like this crazy thing in the woods where somebody else was like attacking them, and like, you know, because unfortunately he came back, he was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then the fact that he goes missing, it's almost like, okay, well, you know, did you try to flee the country? Did you try to escape? Like, where are you? Like, and not in a mean way, but like, here's hoping like he didn't just go off somewhere to commit suicide because of how guilty he felt. Because then again, now we have zero answers still to what the heck ever happened. And it's just like, again, it shouldn't have happened. And even if it was an accident, like, just give like this family closure. Like,
yeah. And I think just today they got a warrant to search the Laundrie family house, and there is what I saw, there wasn't much that they had released that they got from the house, but there were a few items that were taken from the house, and I guess a Ford Mustang was also towed away, which I'm wondering what that has to play with it, because obviously if they took it away, there's some evidence with it. So I don't know. I mean, this is just a growing case, and I mean, maybe the Wednesday after, we can play back in this, because I'm sure that this case is gonna open up within the next few days. There's new stuff coming out every day, and it's just heartbreaking, and I want to know if it's her body, because if it's not, that would be great, but at the same time, where is she?
I feel like I did read somewhere, and it was that they confirmed it was her body.
I don't know. I couldn't find anything that it was confirmed.
But then I was going to say, but then I see other things every time, and they're like, it's consistent. But I feel like I read something that was, I don't know, I think it was like a tweet from the FBI that was basically, oh, maybe it was the condolences.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it again.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's a weird thing, because it's either like, I hope that it's not her body, because there could be also a way to find her, or hopefully she's still alive. But at the same time, hopefully it's not one of those things where she's just missing for years and nobody has closure and nobody has answers. So,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, freaking internet, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all you socials, do the damn thing. Like, let's find this dude.
Yeah, like Reddit.
Let's face it. Like, everyone has a way to find somebody. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the FBI has access to all of us, but like, we just as much have access to all of us.
Well, the thing is that, like, with the whole like Reddit thing, Reddit's really good at finding.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
About finding murderers and bad people, and like with the whole Luca Magnotta case, they killed it on that. And the big reason why is because they have more time to
Reddit
put
users.
into these
Do
cases.
your thing.
Yes, like, I wish I could get into what you guys get into, but you guys like analyze blankets and like where
Send
the
us
blankets
some summaries that we need to know.
Yeah, because you guys are like looking at background pictures. Like this picture was bought here this time,
Right?
And this is, so you guys
You
are.
could tell us what time, what day, and everything we bought this. Like,
yeah, like you
I will
guys
sell my soul to you.
I know, like you guys kill it over there. So
No.
honestly, I think, as sad as it sounds, the FBI does their job. Yes, especially when it's something like this. But hopefully, I mean,
Internet,
they found that.
Do your thing and help them out.
Yeah, they found her body because somebody passed by with his footage of
Which,
this man in
again,
the background.
If he didn't, who knows how long it would have taken at that point to still find her body. We still could have been on a search for the body.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, national parks are a lot of ground to cover. And especially like when you're trying to hide bodies and it's like trying to.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too, is like, I wonder how her body was left. Like, was it just there?
That's what I'm saying. There's just nothing. There's nothing. And we're probably not even going to have like an autopsy report or anything for at least like another 2 months.
At the end of the day, this case fucking sucks. And I want more answers, and I'm sure Gabby's family wants more answers. And I really, really
I
hope
think
that
at this point, the whole freaking universe wants some answers.
yeah, like hopefully we get it soon. And by soon, I mean like tomorrow, this weekend. There needs to be answers, and it needs to happen fast. And I hope that they're able to find Brian and apprehend him and get answers.
I really hope they find him alive.
This case is so shitty, like so new. So like, I think this is the first case in a long time that has been like a national case. Like, this has been on the news. Like, I was in the gym today and it was just on every TV.
I was gonna say, we've covered a lot of like hot topic ones, like that keep coming up, or you know, like every now and then like have at least like popped up on the news. But like this one, I mean, like I go on social media and there's freaking posts about this girl and daily updates about her. And today we found this, today we found that, today they're doing this, and it's just like, it is constantly updating you.
Yeah, because
like,
I mean, like with the whole Chris Watts case, like that seemed to get pretty big, but it also was mostly, all the news and everything was mostly covering where he was, as far as I can remember. That's the thing too, is that when Chris Watts was happening and everything, I don't remember seeing much about it until the case was closed and people started covering it. So this case is nationwide. Everybody is getting the information about this case, and we're just hoping we can hop on this and get it out there as well, spread more awareness, because if anybody does see Brian, which obviously I'll post a picture of him on here too, but if anybody does see him, hopefully if you're watching our channel and you don't know about this case,
and I mean, don't forget, guys, you know, people like to be sneaky sneaks. So maybe he dyed his hair a different color. Maybe he shaved his face. Maybe he put on a beard. Who freaking knows? But if it looks like him,
yeah, you gotta make tips to the police.
Call like your local police department. I mean, I'm not saying go and call 911 and be like, oh my God, I found him. But like, just call the local police department that in the city that you're in. Let them know, you know, hey, somebody that fits this description is here at so-and-so place. And at least give the cops a chance to do their job. And you know what? do yourself a favor. Take a picture, post it on TikTok, post it on Instagram, and post it everywhere and ask the world what they think. And maybe we'll get more answers that way.
Yeah, I mean, as the more we spread this around, the more answers that we're going to find. So we just got to be aware of our surroundings and keep an eye out, because you could
really
be anywhere.
feel like the internet is going to do its thing, and the internet is going to get the answers a lot quicker than anybody else, which is really sad.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense. Now, to try to end this video on a more positive note, we're going to talk about the wines that we tried and let you know what we think.
I'm going to try yours, actually.
Okay. So the wine that I tried is a Cabernet, but it's Crestwood Barrel. Is it focusing? And there's like a little bear on it. It's super cute.
Okay, at first it was like, but now, after, it's like, it's
good.
It was sweeter. It's because mine's really dry. That's why. So I feel
That's funny because mine's like all the way on the dry side.
Oh.
But it says that it's more on the bold side than the light side. It's more tannic than smooth. It's more on the heavy dry side than the sweet side.
I think it was a little sweet.
I thought so too.
Mine is, I don't know if you want to try mine, but I feel like mine was pretty dry.
And it's more acidic than soft. And it has notes of cherry, red fruit, raspberry. It has notes of chocolate, oak, vanilla, and also plum, blackberry, and black cherry. And it pairs well with beef, lamb, deer, and poultry.
So dinner.
Yours is more on the dry side. Like more than mine.
I was going to say, do you want to try
Yeah, I
mine?
do.
Because I felt like mine was really dry. But anyway, we kind of had matching wines today a little bit. But I had the Crestwood Barrel Merlot. It's not really weird. Merlot.
Interesting.
Do you feel like it's dry? Drier
feel
than
like it's
yours,
only-
obviously, right?
I feel like it's only dry. Like, I feel like there's no taste to it.
That's how I was feeling, but okay, whatever. It says it's more towards the boldered side, which maybe I guess I could see that because it does kind of like give you like a little kick too, but again, it tastes very, very dry. And it says it's more in like the middle of tannic and smooth, which I could see that, but I feel like overall it was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And then it says obviously it is at the complete bottom scale of dry because it is a dry wine, which it is. I promise. I don't know how many times I've said it's dry.
That's pretty dang
And then it's in the middle of being soft and acidic, which I kind of felt that because it didn't feel like it was overly acidic. I guess I'd say it was more softer. Anyway, it has your notes of oak, vanilla, chocolate. You got some blackberry, raspberries, black cherry, regular cherries, cranberry.
Yeah, it has cranberry. Maybe that's why it's dry, because cranberry is pretty dry.
It is. Honestly, cranberry juice is not the jam, but whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty dry.
Anyway, it also pairs very well with beef, lamb, and, veal. I was going to say poultry.
No,
but
no.
it pairs well with veal. Not chicken. But hey,
Because,
Try it
I
out.
mean, maybe because
Because it's too
chicken
dry.
is pretty dry. Well, depends on how you cook it, but cook it.
cookie.
But chicken is usually pretty dry, so maybe that's why it's too dry.
Is okay.
Maybe that's why chicken's too dry.
Thank you everybody for watching, and we can't wait to see you next Wednesday. Bye!